Welcome, everybody. Yes, I still sound like garbage, but not as much garbage as the Red Wings defense. But alas,
Still, you're still on the Red Wings?
they lost seven. They let seven in last night. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
bad for Chris. He went and watched that game in Buffalo. But anyways, yes, you guys see it. We do have the Atletico Inter scoreboard up top here, where we're keeping track of the game and giving you guys with updates as well on what happens there. Also, obviously, fingers crossed that Atletico tie it. Though I think Inter have gone into full shithouse mode at this point. But we've got a lot of stuff that we want to cover today. We want to cover Sarri's balls. We want to cover some airplanes and some other shenanigans. Dave, take it away.
oh man, yeah. And you know what? The aviation aspect of tonight's show wasn't even me, despite me being the aviation nerd of the group. No, it comes from Vlad. Vlad is all about the conspiracy. He wants me to get into it a little bit, so we'll save that a bit later on for bonus time. If you guys like sticking around, of course, we'll try to keep it mostly to the sports topics, the UV topics to begin with, and descend into chaos from there. But otherwise, Wednesday, it's the best night of the week. We do have the game, as he said, on the sidelines. We're watching. So don't worry if you can't watch, or I imagine a lot of people will be flying in a bit later, anyways. So let's hope it doesn't go too extra, because we might have a slow night in that regard. But otherwise, no, we're here to keep you up to date and keep the shenanigans going, because it is the tinfoil hat show, and I think first and foremost, man, two big things just yesterday. I mean, which one is first and foremost? Sarri's balls or De Laurentiis hopping around?
Let's do De Laurentiis. I want to be petty.
Okay. Do we have that meme on deck
Which one?
of De Laurentiis hopping around?
Oh, I don't think we do.
Man, it's everywhere.
I have not. Him at the stadium bouncing.
Yeah, the bouncing one.
Oh, I thought Vlad was gonna give us that gift.
Okay, here I have it on. I have to. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me.
We have to get rid of the sacrifice the scoreboard for the meme.
Yeah, just for a second. Just for a
Yeah,
second.
it's okay.
That one.
That
I know it's
that
not
is
super
it.
big because it's coming off Discord like that, but that one. That's De Laurentiis right now, jumping around like the fool that he is. Frickin' fool. All right, I'll get the scoreboard back for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Napoli was celebrating like they won the Scudetto against us when they beat us 2-1, and unfortunately for Napoli folks, Juventino get the last laugh. Napoli absolutely fumbling the bag in Barcelona and getting
Joe
knocked out.
Biden. Joe Biden's in the Midwest.
Oh, he's trying to get that Wisconsin vote. I bet
Yeah,
he's gonna
trying to get the farmer vote.
Hey man, hide your kids. He's gonna start sniffing them. But yeah, I don't feel bad. You know, it was funny because somebody told me, yeah, but with Napoli, that means Italy doesn't get a fifth team in the Champions League, and I was like, who the hell cares? Seriously, like
Really? So
we
who?
we shouldn't even have four teams in the Champions League if you were to ask me honestly.
It
Like,
just goes to show that the Italian league, as much as we trash it, as mismanaged as it is, all the other leagues are as well.
it's
Let's
just
be fair.
because they were like, well, if Napoli wins, Italy gets five teams in the Champions League next year. I'm like, what? So we can, gouge our eyes out with Lazio in it again? Or with Roma or something?
You have to say Lazio because that is the next connection.
It is, right? But because, we sacrificed a Serie A spot so Juve goes into the Club World Cup and gets that revenue. I'm 100% happy with that. How
Oh,
much
of
of that
course.
how much of that goes into the budgeting for, new players and readjustments and stuff like that to be determined, right? But for me, I'm happy. Like I think it feels that much sweeter that it came to the detriment of Napoli, right? Because it's like they're gonna do some stupid lawsuit. They're gonna do some whine and crying show about, let's sue Juve because we should have been in the Club World Cup even though we had one remarkable season and yet we think we're entitled to it. It's I'm not upset at all. If I have to sell out Serie A for Juve to win a Champions League, sure, I'll do it. I don't give a damn. Serie A's
And
done working for us.
We tried to sell them out in a sense with the Super League, especially the first iteration of it. Which I mean, we're still in it. And yes, Napoli is trash. That's why on the thumbnail, and that's the second time I've used that. I used that early days. The Laurentiis in the trash can. So, yeah, Napoli is trash, and it's just kind of there's a layer to that, right? Because every day is garbage day in Napoli. That's how they keep the employment up, right? Is that they just have garbage collection every day, so everyone can be a government worker and just like they just create work. That was on Sam Adamo podcast when he was in Napoli, and it's just like, yeah, there's always trash on the corner because every day is like one day's plastics, one day's cardboard, one day's like actual garbage. Every day's trash day. That's Napoli. Something other almost happened, but nothing. Yeah. Still no change in the score.
Yeah, nothing. Just another missed header from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, they're creating chances.
Yeah, they're creating it, but look, again, when it comes to that, right? I knew it. Come on, like I was sitting there. You mean to tell me how bad this Napoli team is? The fact that you're going to go into Barcelona and beat them, and this is what kind of upsets me about this draw or this round of between Napoli and Barcelona. Barcelona was absolutely atrocious yesterday.
Defensively,
absolutely atrocious. Where it's like I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, does Barcelona even want to win this game? I'm serious because I was like looking at some of the fumbles, like even like, for example, the offside goal that they had where I'm just like, dude, if the guy didn't touch it, it would have gone it. Like it would have counted. Like I was watching that game. And to be honest with you guys, that was the first time I really watched Barcelona in a while. And I'm like thinking, I thought that we were bad to an extent, right? But holy hell, Barcelona is atrocious. Well,
we know for what they have. Yeah, we know what they've been having a bad year, and that's what I've been trying to say too. That we're always here trashing Juve and saying, "Oh, it's so bad." Like, look outwards a little bit. It really isn't that bad. Yeah, we always want the best for a team, and we're upset when we don't have the best. But it doesn't mean like look at the other guys, man.
For sure.
Be grateful for what you have.
Exactly, and it kind of like and it kind of puts it into perspective because, like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I have been. That was actually a nice turn by Depay. Unfortunately, didn't finish there.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit distracted because Laurentiis took another.
I was like finishing my thought, and I saw it. I'm like, am I about to see something absolutely filthy? But and being with doing with what we're doing, and it's just one of those things where we easily get locked into a wow. Chanalogu could not ice the game. What a goober. And getting distracted again. It kind of, I'm going to be honest with you. I've put on the Juve blinders where I've kind of just been looking at Juve and nothing else really. And this is kind of a misstep on my part, so I do apologize. But like watching some of these Champions League matches, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, we have our flaws, but holy hell, some of these teams are absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, well, just like the leagues, right? You're saying I'm surprised Italy would even get a fifth spot. Well, look how mismanaged Spain can be. Germany has their own issues as well. It's not like outside of the EPL that all these other leagues are just flying away with things. They're all having issues.
They are.
Everyone in here seemed to want Murata to score, but he's off now. So.
They are, Dave, but I think the thing that surprises me is this bad of a Barcelona team routed Napoli. That was league champions last season, right?
Well, when they scored, they looked really good. They made it look like Barcelona.
Yeah, and then they were just kind of like, oh, we're up 2-0. The old 2-0 theory, as people would say it. Like, there's a theory that if you're up 2-0, most teams lose it.
Well, they lose the concentration. That's yep. Like that point, yeah.
Yeah, there's I didn't realize there's a hypothesis behind it, but there is.
No, there's definitely sports psychology behind that one. But regardless, they won handily 3-1. It's fine. It's done. We have 50 mil. An extra 50 mil.
Allegedly.
We'll take it.
Watch them change it and say you only get 10 mil. I'd laugh my ass off. That's like FIFA giving us the middle finger. Oh, you guys thought you were going to get 50 to 80 million. Psych.
I can't see him. I don't know if that conspiracy theory is going to be flying off today.
That's going to be another tinfoil hat show in like 4 to 5 months. She's like, remember when they said you get 80 million for the Club World Cup, and then oh no, that was Barella. That wasn't Chanalogo.
Oh,
Oh,
bro,
that's
yeah, just
yeah,
lost it
wow.
straight on.
I see a 2 and I just think Chanalogo.
This one might be going the distance.
Might be. I mean, they still need this.
It's Inzaghi and Simeone. Like,
Yeah, but I think Atleti still needs one to push extra time
oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm
because
still.
the
Yeah,
1-0 at home. But
sure enough.
I think, and like for example, even commenting on the game that's going on right now, right? This Inter team knows how to cut a team apart. Like that goal they scored this game took 4 passes. Their opportunities here took the last couple of opportunities took 2 to 3 passes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't let this scoreline distract you. But out of all of the Italian teams, Inter is probably the only one that deserves to be there in the Champions League. The only one that has any kind of credentials. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of a sad state for Serie A. It's like, they had that whole production campaign last season. Calcio is back and all of this stuff. And then it's like you come up with this performance this year. Like, you better hope to God that Milan makes a good ass run in the Europa League because it is not looking good for Serie A this season.
Yeah, and Milan should, in all rights, they should, but we'll see.
And there's Leverkusen and Liverpool, so you got to watch out for those two.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, to be able to at least get through the next round or so, right? Like, I'm not saying they're necessarily going to win it, but they should definitely be competing to the end with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think you would expect them in the last 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair, at the very least.
Oh my goodness!
And they could be.
Oh my goodness!
What,
off the post.
2, 3. Oh, and that went off the post.
Off the post. That was a turn and shoot, and it went off the post. Atletico almost tie it right there. That is nuts.
My Lord.
Gosh, that's going to be terrible for us if they equalize. It's good. Technically, it's good, but also bad because I can tell that everybody's watching that game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and here's the thing. Inter's got the Scudetto at this point, right? I don't care if they have to play more games and they get tired and they lose points at this point.
I don't want them
they
winning
lost
it.
it. I want them to lose.
Yeah.
I want them to lose one so they don't get the record. That's essentially it. I want them to lose one more game. At this point, I don't care if they go through and have to play more. I just want them to lose. Just to spite them. That's it. Just lose.
Just lose.
Just lose. Oh man, but it's not looking good. 86th minute. But anyways, so
talk about some sorry balls.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. That's off the docket. We got our 50 mil. We're going to the Club World Cup next year. We'll see.
Oh my goodness! I thought it could just equalize. There we go.
And there's the turn. And
oh, I'm a couple seconds. I'm sorry, Dave.
You are a couple seconds.
I forget about watch along form. I haven't done a watch along in a week or so. So it's like
you keep on bail on me. Atleti just went ahead, guys.
Technically equal on aggregate.
Wow. And now 9 people just showed up. So it's just like, hey. Yeah, we're watching. We're watching. Of course we are.
We're covering. Wow, that is a hell of a turn and burn by Depay. That is nuts.
Well, we can ask the crowd. Do you guys want us just to continue with tinfoil format, or do you want us to do a hybrid commentation of this game as we go? It'll extend the show a little bit, especially if it goes all the way. Do you want to do you guys want a commentary or just flow? Well, flow for the mean.
I think we flow, and then if there's any highlight moments, we'll just switch to the commentary.
Okay. But if there's an overwhelming sway from the crowd,
Yeah, no, I got you.
We'll flex for you. But it is currently tied at 2-2 on aggregate, so we're going to extra time for now.
Yeah, we got the Atletico girls crying. You got some Madrid baddies crying.
Let them cry. Let them cry. It's beautiful.
It is. All right, so let's flow with a little bit of Sarri while we've got this here. So we'll talk into Maurizio Sarri. So Maurizio Sarri steps down from Lazio. I believe it was Monday, but Tuesday was when it was official, right? Because I was seeing the reports on Monday, but yesterday I think it was official.
Is it official? Has the club actually I haven't checked, but as of this morning, the club still had not
So
come out with
it's on
anything.
the official SS Lazio Twitter page.
Okay, so they finally did come out with
So it says Maurizio Sarri has resignated, with Giovanni
resignated, resigned.
resigned. Resigned.
You're just making
My
shit up.
translation, leave me alone. I'm like thinking I'm about to read it off as resignato, and I'm like, and my English and Italian just kind of came together, and it was just
It's fine.
terrible.
It's fine. It's funny.
But Atletico actually
Oh,
crashing into the box, fumbled. Summer cannot get his hands on the ball here.
this is insane. Why can't you guys just put it in the? Oh, it's bouncing all over that box.
Gosh, Atletico Madrid remind me of a guy that's getting laid for the first time ever and having a hard time finding the hole.
Oh my
That's what that
god!
looks like.
Yeah, it's just slipping all over the place, but where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's only a matter of time
wow.
before they slide into the wrong hole.
Lazio
Uh,
have easily won this game so far.
Inter look extremely jaded right now, but back onto Sarri's balls here.
Mourinho
Pause.
to Lazio. What do you think of that coming from Frankie?
No. No
Let's do
way.
it.
Lazio can't afford him. Lazio cannot afford him. Lazio barely paid Sarri $3.5 million a season.
Lotito.
I just I just like have this thing, right? Can people stop considering Lazio like an elite team in Serie A?
Elite.
Like there's some people there that are like thinking that, they're Champions League competing teams. Like they can compete for the top 4 every season.
But that's not elite. If you had to put elite, like overall historically, it'd be Inter Milan and Juve.
It's the
Those
big
three.
three. It's
big three,
Milan,
yeah.
Inter, and Juve. That's it.
There's the top dogs. There's like the seven sisters, as they say.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
It's a little bit, but they're like the historical like mainstays.
It's
Always
no,
in the top 10.
I get that, but like I think that's such a stupid term, right? Because it's like, oh, the Seven Sisters. Okay, cool. What has
it's
Fiorentina done that's been relevant in Serie
Yeah,
A?
and that was the one I was gonna point out. Was Fiorentina. It's just they're an iconic team.
Same thing
Man,
with
I was-
Lazio and Roma. Like, have they? They've barely competed. If it's just they've finished second when the leaders won the league by like 20 fucking points.
They've had their moments. They have, but
Like,
I mean
sound,
they're
I
not.
sound like a heel. I get like I sound like an ass, but like
So basically, there's the ones that have stars on their chest, the elites, the three, and then there's like
Then
everyone
there's
else who's like
the
perennial
ugly,
competitors.
the ugly cousin, like Napoli.
That's the rest of the seven sisters. So there's like the three hot sisters, and then there's the four ugly sisters.
Yeah, and Napoli just found out what makeup was for the first time ever and used it until it got washed off. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I never, and to be honest with you, like I kind of feel bad for Maurizio Sarri because it's like out of all the places you could have gone, you went to Lazio.
I thought it was fitting for him because of
I
just how he
disagree.
chews cigarettes.
That's funny. No, because hear me out. Because like for example, Maurizio Sarri is a coach that you have to get him what he wants, right? From the player profile to the capabilities to the personality, Sarri is one of those coaches where you have to give him what he wants, or he can't do what he does. It was shown in Juve, it was shown at Chelsea, and it was shown again at Lazio. So it's like, for example, Lotito brought him thinking that he would make Lazio a perennial top 4 contender, someone that could challenge for the Scudetto or the Coppa Italia and all that other shenanigans. And it just kind of never happened because they never got anything that he needed. Like they just never built around him.
Pancake Boy is making his appearance.
That's funny.
Dejan Buchanan.
Has he? I forgot that he was on the roster.
He hasn't had too many minutes. Speaking of maple syrup, I've been boiling it the past few days. I'm like full production. I'm making a real shitty video of me making syrup as well, and I'm gonna put it up as the one of the members only videos.
Oh, you're making that one super fancy. Atletico on a quick counterattack through Griezmann. Griezmann slots it over, and they skied it. They skied the winner
There was,
by Rimuke.
and Griezmann's like, "Why did I give it to you?"
Griezmann's like, what is this? And that was such a beautiful ball.
Oh boy,
Oh, that was such a
that
good ball.
was it.
What
That
the
was a
fuck
beautiful
was
ball.
that?
That was an outside left foot. But Atleti's coming back at it again. Oh, what a through ball! Not good enough. Oh man, this game's actually getting
What
pretty good.
was that? Yeah, fucking hold your head, kid, because that's fucking terrible.
Oh man.
Griezmann put that on a platter for you. Ah, no, he did. That's what you do in a pickup game when you lean back like, yeah, Simeone fucking humping the ground right now, which is, that is iconic.
That's upsetting.
That is very upsetting. Atletico had that game won.
They sure did.
Jeez, thanks, Atletico.
It's not another 30 minutes. Oh well. Okay,
wow,
so
that is wild that happened.
he's kind of like us against Napoli. This is like watching us sometimes.
Did you see the Simeone falling on the ground? I need a gif of that. I need a meme of that because that was just incredible. He just kind of walked, face planted, and just like pelvic thrust the grass first.
Let me pull it back because I was actually updating stuff. Yeah, there it is. He's just like plows his face into the ground.
That's so funny. But anyways, now we've got 10 minutes of non-interruptions of the game, so we can do our thing here.
Moving on. Okay, so
going back to Sarri, right? I always thought that Sarri's home was always in Spain when it came to coaching. I just, for me, he needs a set of players, right? And De Laurentiis did that for him originally, and then for some reason he didn't want to do that anymore. And Sarri was like, "Well, see you later, adios." Mm-hmm. Do I think Sarri is on the? He's a more accomplished De Serbi, right? That's kind of what I've put Sarri in as, and right now they're saying potential of Sarri going to Milan if Pioli gets sacked. To be honest with you, I don't know how he fits with Milan, right? How he fixes Milan.
I don't think he does.
I don't see that as a fit for Maurizio Sarri. I really think that Sarri needs to go to a country that really, really suits his style of coaching, and for me, it's La Liga.
The classic European made in China derby.
That's funny. That's really funny. But I've always think that Maurizio Sarri would probably be suited more so in Spain because you have the players with the technique that he needs, and then also it's also less pressure in there because you're an Italian, you're coaching a Spanish team, a mid-table Spanish team. Because for example, if you're not coaching Barcelona or Real Madrid, you don't really have pressure in Spain unless you're getting relegated. Because for example, I could see him going to a Sevilla. I could see him going to a Valencia. I would tell that to Maurizio. I know Maurizio Sarri is kind of really anal when it comes to going abroad, so I doubt he goes abroad. But it was a stupid idea for him to take the Lazio job. I understood what Mourinho was trying to do. Mourinho was coming in at Roma, new owners, new investors. Let's see if we can kickstart this project, and it just didn't work out. But I never understood it because it's for example, Maurizio went from one, for example, De Laurentiis is a toxic ex. And then he went to Lotito, who's the same fucking thing. There's no difference between De Laurentiis and Lotito. I think maybe the main difference is Lotito's cheaper than De Laurentiis. So I don't know if Sarri has Stockholm syndrome or something stupid like that, where he has to go to terribly run organizations back to back like that. Because with us, the issue that Sarri had with Juve was that, again, not the corporate guy. He's not a corporate guy, which is fine, right? The issue was this is the second team in a row that the locker room lost respect for. Because when Sarri was with us, maybe the only person that cared was Dybala. Everybody else was like, who the hell is this goon?
Well, here's the quote. I saw that you are not with me anymore. Some of you are too different to what we saw last season. I have decided to resign. If I am the problem, then I will step aside so you can shake up the season. At least, I gotta give him credit. At least he knows. He's not one of these guys that can't see that he's the issue and blames everyone else out. At least he's an adult enough person to recognize that, which is, you don't see it as much these days. Let's just take Conte for instance. Like
Yeah, but
Conte would be the exact opposite and blame everyone else.
yeah, but you want to know why? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing you got to give credit to Mourinho and Conte for, right? They, if you resign, you forfeit the wage, you forfeit the money. If you get sacked, you're getting paid.
Yeah. So he always gets himself fired. He knows what he's doing.
Mourinho and Conte. Oh, like people are like, yeah, Mourinho embraces the sack. Oh, yes, he does, and not the sack that's in your pants. The other sack. Mourinho and Conte are devilishly good at that because Conte and Mourinho will take some outrageous salaries. Like for example, here's the funny thing about it, because like the whole Inter situation with Conte, right? Conte was he's like, oh, we're not gonna do this. We're blah 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 blah, saying all this shit to Inter, just to get sacked. So Inter still owed him 10 million. That because he signed a 3-year deal for 10 mil, did his 2 seasons, and then the last season was like, oh, I don't want to coach anymore. He had that mindset where I don't want to coach, and he got himself sacked just so he can get that 10 mil. Or they came into a mutual agreement for 7. Where it's Sarri's just well, granted, I'm sure Sarri's just like, fuck this, this 3.5 million isn't worth me getting the sack or whatever. But I just find it funny because like, and that's like the same, and I can assume Allegri's the same way too, where he's like, hey man, you wanna get rid of me, you gotta give me that sack because I'm getting paid. I'm not doing you a favor. But it was funny because when you read that comment, I saw a couple of J Twitter schnobs, and if you have not seen Dave's J Twitter rant, it's an actual video. I definitely recommend it.
I didn't realize once I cut it, I went for like over. It was about 4 minutes, and then like
5 minutes.
Well, you went on for a little bit. It was 4 and a bit.
It was glorious. Dave just cooked. But they're just kind of like, if only Allegri had the balls. I'm like, why does everything that goes around the world, like, do we need to buy these individuals Allegri posters or something? Like, it's like they have an asphyxiation to Massimiliano Allegri. Because it's like, for example, they're choking on them. They're just stuck on them.
Because usually there's an asphyxiation where people are affixed to it, but all right, I'll let this one slide.
They're both of them. I
slide.
swear, cool. Man. Like you could take a shit, and then someone would just be like, "Man, if only Allegri could take a dump that's that much, man." Like, do these people not have anything better to do? Like, it just baffles my mind.
They don't, a lot of them, or whatever free time they have. And that's why I went with like the whole zombie thumbnail, right? Because that's all these people are. They're a bunch of zombies. Their brains are festering. Whether it's like because they're actually zombies and they're just like that far gone, or because the TikToks have melted their brains. Whatever the case may be. And I hope so much that this thing in the US goes through where they cancel TikTok. Oh my God, it'd be so great.
Yeah, but yeah. Be nice. It'd be like as terrible as it sounds, like I would kind of hope that like Section 230 goes away. That's a law in the United States that like gives social media companies like the most outrageous amount of power, where like they're not platforms, they're like it gets rid of their ability to be like a community town square where it's actually like a publication per se. It's like social media companies can limit and control what's being thrown on there. And it's just like, and if that gets repealed or removed, then it becomes more of a public square and stuff. And it's not as this like watered down bullshit. Because at this point, social media has just become Fashion Nova ads, whatever is the newest iteration of Viagra, whether it's that blue chew or that chocolate that gives you a boner. Yeah, it's like
the States is wild sometimes, man.
It is, because that's what it is. It's Fashion Nova. It's men with erectile dysfunction,
or bald dudes,
and then it's Raid Shadow Legends. That's the other thing. Yeah. The other thing that gets advertised to fuck knows when of Kingdom Time. It's like those main things, and it's just like, I thought social media was like a thing where, hey, we can throw out ideas, have some discourse, have some discussion. It was, and then now it's like boner pills, Fashion Nova, OnlyFans, more boner stuff, and it's
so like, it's interesting, right? So if you look at the history, and I listened to a podcast about this years ago now, when a lot of this stuff was just really popping up, and it was talking about the whole technology of things. And when the internet first came on the scene, really to the mainstream in the 90s, it existed before that, but only like hyper nerds knew how to really access it. But 90s, like AOL came, AOL Online, all that nonsense, and it became mainstream. But it was still like, it was the Wild West. There was no regulations. It was still kind of wholesome as well. Yes, there was a dark web, but there was like the dark web, and then there's just like where grandma checked her emails, and like there was blogs, and everyone had a web page because that was the cool thing to do. You just built a web page because there was no social media. You just like built a web page and
Blogspot, remember
blogged
that?
or whatever, right?
Yeah, Blogspot, GoDaddy was a big thing to make your own website.
Yeah, I actually still own a domain through GoDaddy. So if you look at how it's gone with all these restrictions and regulations and bureaucracy has now come, and constantly the European Union's always fighting, especially like they hate Apple. They're always at war with Apple, even Google and Facebook, all of them. That happened with radio. That happened with like the printing press, right? Like all our forms of media when they first came out, it was a shit show. It was a free for all. And then it's like, okay, hold on. We can't just let people say whatever the hell they want in this new platform. We actually have to like regulate it. And we've gotten to that point on the internet where it's like, man, over regulation everywhere. And like I see that now. Like that rant that I went on isn't really making any money because I dropped too many F-bombs.
Yeah, and sustainability. They're like, advertisers don't like Dave for this. You said too many.
Oh, well,
too many.
you can choose. Like, there's an option. It's like, does this have explicit content throughout? It's like, absolutely, it does.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Dave's coming in. Vlad saying Wanda's actually shaken. I ain't talking about Wanda Icardi. Which Wanda is he referring to?
He knows this Wanda.
You just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
We are contractually obligated to play that once every time Vlad is on stream. So, sorry, folks. You get to see Lukaku's cock.
Oh man, yeah, Oscar. Every Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. The Saturday one might flip around if there's a game situation, but yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. See you there. Dave coming in. Vlad, Atletico fans are crazy. I was at the Real versus Atleti CL final in Milan, and Atleti fans completely cooked the Real fans. Interesting. There you go. I imagine the Real fans remember white collar. The Atleti are the blue collar ones. Oh my god, they can't score, these assholes. Oh, that's Martinez. That's the wrong team. You don't.
I was gonna say, Dave.
That's good. That's good. Okay, no, I just like glanced over. Like, okay.
No,
Sorry.
that is not who you want. No, Mr. Dave. No.
Okay,
All right.
Oscar's got it noted. All right, yeah.
So like, shame for Sarri. I hope to see him in La Liga. I think that'll be better for him. All right. Awesome. Vlad got me. Vlad put it on the Discord with Diego Simeone falling on the ground.
Oh, beauty.
That's actually something you might want for a thumbnail. It's in the tinfoil hat thing.
Yeah, I got it. Classic. I could use that.
That is beautiful.
I need to start making emojis as well for the YouTube. Really, I need ideas for emojis and things like what kind of things we like. And it could be like, I don't know, Simeone with his face on the ground isn't really something you can make an emoji, but like, I don't know, like a Julia Grosso something or other, of course.
Fair.
Vlahovic in a nice new suit. Vlahovic can dress.
Did you see that? He still looks like a goober.
No, he looks classy.
His face, he just doesn't know how to take good pictures. I think
he's just not photogenic, but come on.
He's
a handsome feller.
He just looks so corny. I can't take him seriously. I'm sorry. I have a hard time taking him seriously. And that has nothing to do with his ability on the field.
Well, he's technically, he's like a child still.
He is a child. He's an awkward child.
Yeah. I mean,
he's like Ronaldo. He's like Ronaldo before the money.
An awkward child. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Well, let's hope he gets that good. Need some ADL emojis, yeah.
All right.
I could make the trash can ADL one. Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about, Dave? Do you want to talk about the Lecce coach that headbutted the fuck out of somebody, or do we want to talk about
Oh no, that's a
Saudi?
good one. No, we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few like just rando things here this week. So let's start with that because I think that came in earlier in the week.
Yeah, so Lecce have sacked manager Roberto Diaversa was due to the scenes because the game after Hellas Verona, he headbutted Thomas Henry. He smoked him. Oh, that was hilarious.
I'll bring it up here. Sorry, it's a little more complicated when we got the scoreboard going. No,
Oh, you're
that's
streaming-
can't.
you're
No,
stream-
that's
nope,
I
nope.
every time
And the channel's gone.
it's not the first time I've done that. Come on.
No, we're getting the video, Vlad. We're getting the video.
Where? Which one? This window. Okay, I obviously have way too much
Yeah,
going
Vlad,
on.
Vlad has it right there. There we go. Big screen, that boy. As you can see, oh, there it is. Wait for it. He's walking. No, that was nothing.
Still, I mean, still.
Man, you gotta get sacked for that. At least fucking hit him.
Still.
Like just rock him if you're gonna do that. That just seems like cheap.
That's funny though. No, a coach, that's uncalled for. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't
But at least
really
like
mess
at
around
least,
with
at least Zidane was just like F it. Like when Zidane did his to Materazzi, he was just like yoink. This guy just kind of walks up to him and just goes, eh.
Yeah.
Like-
And no surprise, Shanglalu is crying on the ground.
Yeah. What
That
else
was
did he-
criminal. You Albanians and Europeans are wild coming from Pipo, coming from the Mexicans. So, I mean, you guys take that one up.
That's funny. All right, so moving on to the next thing. So Elkin, Cherubini, and Calvo are all in Saudi.
Yeah, they're there
because-
for the Grand Prix. So was Gigi Buffon. Like, who else? There was a lot of people were because rich white people get showered with gifts in Saudi.
Yes,
That's
in
how it works.
Saudi. Well, allegedly, Juve are working on a shirt sponsor with Saudi to see if they can get that. That would actually be pretty good, right? If they get $60 million shirt sponsorship from Riyadh Air, it'd be nice.
But they're just, I hate that stuff.
I hate it
personally,
too, but hey, man, we're broke.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no, I understand. But at the end of the day, it's not. We should put the fears away of like a Saudi takeover. What it is like side investments, not necessarily investments directly
yeah, they're
into
not
the
just- yeah.
club, but like it's a multi-tiered business, right? Like it's a conglomeration of businesses. There's different ways.
Right now, for Juve to grow marketing wise, Juve need to tap the Saudi market. They have to. You even have WWE that's doing that right now. WWE had 2 shows in Saudi in the last season per se.
Yeah, Aramco.
Because-
That's what I'm thinking. Aramco.
Like
That's the oil.
I'm telling you, you get sponsorship deals, you get ad revenue, you get your games broadcasted more there. Juve need to tap into that Saudi market. For them, it's a necessity for them to get some additional funds because, right, we want it to be sustainable. It needs to be something where they're making bread off it. They need to really get into that. And, 45 mil is what Dave is saying as well that Atletico is getting from Saudi. If we could get something similar to that, that's perfect for us. 45 to 50, because that's what we were getting with Jeep as well. So it's that is actually very true.
So the thing with Jeep is that it's technically the parent company
It's actually
giving the
Yeah.
child company the money. That's not getting the like that just moves funds from one place to the other. That was what that $200 million investment was, essentially, was just injecting funds from the higher tier of the company to the lower tier of the company. This time they're actually looking externally to actually have funds given to them for a sponsorship instead of just like self-sustain. Now, the self-sustaining model is perfectly fine, but we're in a situation where we kind of have to sell our soul a little bit to be able to stay competitive. That's essentially what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think and it's good for the brand too. And yes, my voice still sounds like garbage, Vlad. It's been like this for the whole week. It's good for the brand. I think it's good to get Juventus out there because more shirt sales, more merchandise sales. You need to tap into the Saudi market because Saudi has a good amount of money there, and you'll have a bunch of Saudi folk that'll fly out to Turin, especially if it's with Riyadh Air, and then you form a partnership where they can fly out to Torino for the games. You get more Saudi folks, and then some of the traditionalists can get mad and say, "Oh, I don't want Saudi here," right? It is what it is. Either they take over your club or they sponsor you. It's one of the two.
What do you mean
It's
fans want Ferrari now too?
on the shirt. They want Ferrari.
There was one post on that on Twitter, and that was just some dude that put Ferrari on. So, okay, here's the thing. The people that buy Ferraris don't want to buy Ferraris because they saw the name on a football jersey.
Yeah.
That's a waste of money. Ferrari's like, why? Why would I spend the money on doing? And again, we're talking about the same company still. That doesn't inject the funds in from the outside.
The difference between, like, for example, Ferrari and a Riyadh Air, or even I'll use Qatar Airlines as well. I think that's what it is. Emirates is the Qatar one. These airlines are trying to appease to people where it's like, for me, if I wanted to fly to Albania, there is actually a route that'll fly me from where I am to Qatar, then to Albania. Go completely out of my way, but just to get to Dubai.
The hubs. Yeah, that's how that works. They build the hubs.
They're doing that. And Riyadh Air is going to want to do that, right? Because they're going to want to have that relationship with Juventus in Italy.
And every emirate has that, like Kuwait, Bahrain, like Saudi, obviously, like the UAE. Every one of those emirates like has a hub, and they're just competing. And it's just these oil princes that are like, I have a fleet of 777s.
I have the bigger penis, yes.
And we're already getting onto the Boeing stuff. It's like, I have 50 Boeings. And I'm like, I got 65.
You have the Boeing, eh? I have the Airbus.
I got the Max. I have the 737 Max.
I have the Airbus 773. It is bigger. But like, but that's kind of what it is, right? Like, for example, think of it this way in perspective. Would you want your shirt sponsor to be Paramount Plus, who's probably going to lose Serie A rights shortly or soon?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want Riyadh Air that's going to be a sustainable brand that will actually globalize it? Or because Riyadh Air, everyone will fly Riyadh Air at some point, where you're going from the United States to Asia to Europe, etc. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people to fly into Saudi. So right now, and it's kind of like German Dave says, sink or swim, man. Either you're owned by a Middle Eastern company or a prince, or you sign a sponsorship deal.
It's the changing of the power base, right? It
is.
used to be like all American sponsorships or Western European. China had a thing there a few years back. And now, they've gone more internally. Investment has to stay within the country. And now the Saudis are taking the reins.
From a business perspective, unless somehow all of those oil wells in Saudi dry up, there's always going to be money in Saudi. That's just the honest
cyclical,
truth, right?
Anyways. I mean, it could be North Africa that pops off next, and they throw all the money. We don't know. That's for geopolitics.
So, look, and if there's some Juve traditionalists that are going to whine about it and say it needs to be an Italian brand, how's Italy doing right now, market wise?
Pirelli is owned by the Chinese. I mean, everyone's like, oh, Pirelli, yeah.
And German Dave says, is Paramount Plus doing Champions League in Europe? Is that what that is? Because I thought
I'm watching DAZN.
Yeah, I thought Serie A was only an Italy thing. Oh well, the more you know. But yeah, I don't expect Paramount Plus to hold that sponsorship or to hold Serie A or any of this. I mean, their Champions League coverage is decent, but their Serie A coverage is absolutely atrocious. I mean, it's kind of what happens when you throw the miniature budget for Serie A coverage and you get folks what you have there, and it's just absolutely atrocious. But look, I think Nutella or Lavezza would be tyrannies, but I doubt they have the money for Juve. Look, and that's it, right? Like, for example, unfortunately, we kind of need to be a little bit picky, right? We need to look at the sugar daddy for the sponsorship. So, yes, I would, Nutella or something that's a little bit more based in Italy, but
and Nutella's from Elba. Technically, it's like 45 minutes an hour outside of Torino, and they have a lot of money, but it's just like
not Saudi.
But it is, I don't know. That's a marketing thing, right? Do they think that putting their name on an athletic jersey, and maybe it's a thing, but the company has to come forward and want to invest that money, and clearly they don't think it's worth that 45 mil or whatever they say it is. But apparently Nutella is a great company, like Ferrero. It's a great company to work for, is what I'm told. And I've been to Elba. It's a very high class town. Very nice.
Nutella's that shit, bruv. But oil money would be better. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'll leave things with that. Do we have anything else to go over?
Oh, well, there's a few things, I think. What else do we have? United has drama from Frankie. Let's see what that is.
It's like, the sky is blue.
Ahmad has deleted everything United related from his social media accounts and added, "This will end," to his bio. Oh, is this the kid that is bitching because he got benched?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a bitch. Like, what's his deal? He's, what, like 17 or something? How old is he?
It just goes to show how bad of an organization Man United is at this point. Like,
Yeah, so basically they're a dumpster fire.
it is a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire with money. That's what Man United is. It's just an absolute dumpster fire with money.
Seems that way. Second half, I can't get the time to, like... Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I'll resync the time again once they show it, and I can do that. 21. Frankie's saying he's 21.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Fuck him. Nobody even knows who he is.
Mm-hmm. So Kulusevski making some comments.
Yes.
Keep this rolling because we're almost at the hour mark.
Dash is sick and he hates talking. That's really what it comes down to.
It really is. So Kulusevski talking about his period at Juventus was a chance to learn from legends, and he says, "I know the feeling of having failed at Juve. Well, I think it is a strange thing to say when I won 2 trophies, played in 2 finals, and decided one of them with a goal and assist against my former team, Atalanta. He's not a top caliber guy. Like, I wouldn't say his time was a failure, and he wasn't a bust. He was just a middle of the road guy.
He's just whatever. And that was the era where we put so much value on players because we had the money to spend. And it was a 40 million, 30, 40 million. Can't remember the exact numbers at the time. And like, oh, you spend that much on a very young winger, he's supposed to pop off, and then he doesn't. And it's just like, some people are asking that question with Locatelli. Was he worth the 35 mil? Was Chiesa worth the 40 mil?
To be honest with you, I think we got duped on Loca for that price tag. I hate saying it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I think we got duped.
But again, this is like, okay, we could have found for Fratesi, and Fratezi's actually doing well. But is it the systems? I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs.
To be honest with you, Dave, when it comes to 2 teams in Serie A, Sassuolo and Fiorentina, I do not want to buy players from those teams ever again. Ever again.
David's saying here. Sorry. Do you want to go on with that?
No, we can talk about German Nutella.
Yeah, the German national team was sponsored by Nutella for a couple of years. They received major flashbacks. It's so damn unhealthy, but the national team sells it. Yeah, and I was kind of thinking that too, right? Because on one hand, they try to market it as like a healthy breakfast thing and active kids need a blah, blah, blah. But everyone knows by now that it is extremely unhealthy.
Yeah. It's just sugar.
It mostly is like that, the Ferrero Nutella. Now, if you go to Torino and you get what's called like Gianduja, then it's different. It's a lot different. It's a lot better, a lot less sugar, a lot more like actual hazelnut. And that's one of the best hazelnut regions in the world. Like you get the fresh nuts, you do it's like in Italy. You do anything fresh, but when you have an international company that just pumps shit out and uses refined sugars and palm oils, it's never going to be anything good for you.
It never is.
Despite it being delicious.
I know. Well, it's usually what most delicious things aren't good for you anyways.
Yeah.
It's the old tidbit for it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say for Kulu. Like it was, I think when it comes to it, I think now that we've learned, and I hope this new board learned, stop buying players that have 6 months of hype. Like that, if that is the only transfer strategy,
Well,
it
we were
was.
doing the Bayern strategy where it's like we'll just buy this guy so the other team can't until we ran out of money.
So Vlad says 40 million for Loca is a fair price. If he was English, it would cost double.
Nah.
I would say 30. To be honest with you, Vlad, I would say 30. You want to know why Nicolo Barella went from was it Cagliari? I think that's where he was. He went from that to Inter for about 35. And I would say Loca is a little bit below Barella at the time. So I would say 30 would have been fair. It's just that stupid Turkey game where Loca turned it up, just slapped 10 million on his price tag.
So my wife got me this. KB saying, remember when Juve was sponsored by Tam Oil? Now, I tried to buy a frame. God bless her for trying to get me Juve stuff, but it's just like some random print off size. But I can tell you now that I have this. Tam Oil was 2005, 05, 06, 06, 07. And then we went to New Holland. So I have a really cool like lithograph, but I have no idea how to mount this because it's just like it's 11 3/4 by 14 3/4. It's just like it's not a size.
No.
So it's sitting on the desk right now. And I got to return a frame to Walmart now. I don't eat Nutella for health. I eat it for the taste. Yeah. No.
Says everybody ever.
Except in the 90s, you ate it because it was apparently healthy until we found out.
We're like, oh, it's a lie.
Kulu's actually very down to earth and likable guy. I think he really regrets that he didn't get to get off on a quote unquote big club because Tottenham. Dashley had to overpay a bit on Local because we had no other good options.
I know, and
Yeah.
that's what frustrated me because
Laminate it and
Sassuolo took us to the bank for that transfer.
just laminate and put a thought. Yeah, laminations and then it's shiny. No, I'd rather have just a frame. Figure something out. Okay, so Vlad, this whole Boeing thing is all you. So if you have something you want to kick off the Boeing situation, because he wants to get into some actual conspiracy here. Now the Inter game still here. We'll flex back into that game as it might be going to penalties. 111th minute at this point, right? So 9 minutes. We'll see. KB saying Nutella for me is too sweet. Yeah, try the real stuff. It's a lot less sweet. Or make it yourself. It's not that hard to make yourself, honestly. So, Boeing 737 MAX. Boeing as a company, I guess, is really what the conspiracy is more revolved around. But if you've paid attention to the news the past few years, the Boeing 737 MAX, which, like, if anybody's flown, you've probably flown on a 737. It's like
It's the most
Honda
common
Civic.
plane. It's the most. It's the Honda Civic of planes.
Everywhere. It's been around since the 60s, and they had like the 100 up to like the 900, then they went to the next gen, and now they're into the MAX, and they just keep on making a newer and newer version of it. Now this was like a bulletproof aircraft until it got to the MAX, and all of a sudden everything started falling apart. Hence this photo I stole here from India Today.
Here,
Where
you
it's
mean
a photo of the 737. All the hardware falling off of it. Predict a winner now. Ah, shit.
Nope, I'm not saying anything. Not saying anything. Don't want to jinx it.
At this point, I don't know.
KB
I don't
shouldn't
want-
say anything because he jinxed it.
Yeah, KB is good at that. So Dave's saying, well, I know the story because I'm into aviation. You never told me you're into aviation? What the hell?
He's like literally a clone of Dave, but just German at this point.
So I know what bullshit Boeing tried to pull because Airbus A320neo and A321neo were hits with the airlines. Yes. So the A320 series is the direct competitor to the 737. Now they came the 80s, I think that came around when Airbus really started kicking off. So Boeing had just had dominance in the market for years upon years upon years. Vlad saying 2 days walking to a bar. Oh
Hence
man,
the German
yeah.
Dave label.
So Vlad, of course, please inject any of the conspiracy that you want into it. I am getting into the actual conspiracy, what happened. I'm just trying to give some details, some overarching details.
See, but one of the things that I've heard about this from reading into it was Boeing did a lot of DEI when it came to engineering and test staff. That they
DEI,
missed
that's
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
oh, okay, yeah, power words, absolutely,
Yeah,
sure,
just didn't want to get triggered by the tube, but they were doing that, and they were unfortunately bringing certain individuals that weren't really qualified, right? So they kind of shat through testing per se, and a lot of these items just came off defective. Like, was the plane that was like a couple weeks ago where the door just said "fuck it" mid-flight and just yeeted itself out of there because of the bolts.
yeah. So that's the latest thing, is the door just giving up. Now, if you don't know how those commercial air, if your DEI is huge among soccer fans.
Hey man, that's the NBA. No. Yeah. It's the NBA, if anything.
We're talking about Bowen right now. We're doing aviation stuff, so we're not even doing the soccer thing. We've hit that hour-ish mark. So Dave's saying, I'm not an aviation pro. I got into it during COVID, and all of a sudden watched 3 hours plane spotting. What?
But it's such a Canadian Dave thing too.
I've never plane spotted because I've always just been around the
DNA test you
airports.
two? Can we just DNA test you two at this point?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Even
I'm
my
just-
mom said
I'm just
you
gonna leave the
guys look
show.
the same.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the show and just let German Dave and Dave start doing everything now. I'm not even gonna be here anymore.
By the way, Dash, because he's an asshole and works all the time, isn't doing the watch along on Sunday morning. It's me and German Dave. So,
See, there you go. I gave you guys what you wanted. That's the real D&D. I'm just a lowercase d.
Do we have to change it to triple D? Is it too late? But anyways, take all the D you can get. So, yeah. Anyways, doors being flying off. You had that one that crashed because I don't know how deep we want to get into it, but essentially there was a full package avionics system. The autopilot, just kind of broad strokes, generally speaking. And that package costs more, but for the not so great airlines that couldn't afford the full package, they got the system worked less effectively, and the software wasn't exactly made to reflect that. So it was trying to do things that it wasn't capable of doing, essentially, and it ended up crashing itself. That's the gist of what it did. That's what really kicked off the whole 737 MAX fiasco. So, needless to say, planes have been crashing, doors have been flying off mid-flight, which, and Fertezzi is going to ask for a penalty.
No, it's
Martinez is going to ask for a penalty.
It's
So,
not a penalty, it's clean. But go on.
I think I have to hold it. No, okay, it's cleared off the line. So, what has been going on, and going back to your DEI stuff as well, I didn't hear that specifically, but they cared more about, they became just, instead of an engineering company, a financial company. How do I make money for investors? So yes, that whole corporate structure just shot the bed in terms of being an engineering
they
company.
masked it under DEI, right? Because in reality, because it's that's what all corporations were doing, and that's what they're doing right now. Is that they're forcing the boomers, they're forcing the more experienced vets that make a shit ton of money on payroll. They're forcing them out and hiring these young people or these individuals that clearly don't know what the hell is going on and clearly don't have they just don't have the skills because they don't have the time done. And the way that they get away with it, right, is by saying, oh, we're doing DEI. Oh, you don't like us hiring this individual? Well, you're one of the things that that's against DEI. So Boeing was doing this, and I think that's kind of what the whistleblower said, and to an extent.
Yeah, so we haven't even mentioned the whistleblower yet. We will here in just a second. I want to give that general background, which I think I've generally covered. Dave's saying the problem is they needed that software because they tried out bigger engines on a 50-year-old model and changed the balance of the aircraft completely, so they tried to influence it digitally. Yes, okay, so Dave, you know your shit. Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's been a lot of iterations. So there was the turbojet initially, the 2-stage turbojet that it released on. Then they went to the 3-stage turbofan, which you see all over the place. And now they're going into these like extra high bypass, just these like, you see them now, like the engines, they're not necessarily big on the inside, but they got these massive initial fans, and that's what people see is those massive blades that you know they're spinning there. They got the little corkscrew thing on the nose. The engine itself is way thinner. I mean, get in the Discord if you want an engine lesson, a turbofan lesson. That's a whole other bag of worms. But yes, because these engines are so much bigger, yes, and complicated, and the digital controls that are involved, and that's the thing. There's a constant monitoring of the engines. There's a back and forth talking, and this software is actually extremely complicated because it's taking thousands of metrics and recording them every second, essentially. And this is why when a plane crashes, they know like every little bit of detail these days that's going on. They can like 3D model the whole crash. But when that software is shit, and when there's no oversight on how that software is actually implemented, people die.
Yeah.
Bitches. Oh, man.
German accent. Sports, law, aviation, and the bitches. I know them all.
We're going to penalties.
Yes, they are going to penalties.
Jeez. Crazy. People, both teams are anti-football. Yeah, they are. They kind of are. We'll stick around at least to the finish of the kickoffs. But yeah, so all of this being said, now there was a Boeing engineer, 32 years I think he worked for the company, and he was whistleblowing. And you know, I'm not going to go too much into my story, but I kind of know how this feels because I had once worked on an aircraft that had later crashed to reasons that I had called the engineer out on previously as to why he designed it that way. And this was an aircraft that was still experimental, not fully released, let's say. And when you just have like these old engineering dudes that are like, no, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this. Don't worry about it. I got this. I'm like, you sure about that, bro? And then people die, right? So I kind of know where this guy is coming from, because at the end of the day, you just don't want people to die. Like aviation is like, there's so many different levels of safety, because if something goes wrong in the air, I mean, you're going to fall out of the air. It's not like a car. You pull over, you get out, you fix it. No, you're falling to your death is what's happening in aviation. So it's super, super safe in most cases, until you have a company like Boeing in this case, in more recent times, that have started to cut corners. They used to be an amazing company. Boeing is classic. And I loved working on Boeings over Airbuses because Europeans always do funny shit. But, these days things have changed. Now this guy, at the end of the day, he just wanted people to not die. That's all he was trying to accomplish. Hey guys, your shit's fucked. People are gonna die. Well, the only person that has died now is the whistleblower. No, other people have died. But the only person that has died in the past week, with reference to Boeing, is this whistleblower. Because, now this is where the conspiracy is. Why did he just randomly die all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, it was after he testified, though. So either witness protection sucks, or someone was petty.
Weston's afraid of aircrafts?
Yeah, McKenny hates flying.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Crazy. No, dude, so it's like I'm working on top secret projects. No, I've worked with like shit that they'll put modifications onto aircraft. So specifically, it's aircraft that have already existed and have their type certificate, but they're putting like new equipment on for testing, and they get what's called a supplemental type certificate. which allows them to fly in that certain configuration, but they're not allowed to like take passengers and use it for commercial operations at that point. But there's still the crew. The crew still has to fly this thing, right? And when shit goes wrong, it's that crew that dies, which is better than the crew and a whole bunch of passengers as well, which is why they go through the whole testing phase. But yeah, man, it's definitely a thing. I've been in aviation for, oh man, over 20 years anyways. And yeah, I mean, I've seen shit crash. Just part of how it goes. Luckily, none of it was my fault. That's all I can say. None of it was my fault.
I did nothing.
That's not to say I haven't fucked shit up on the ground, because I definitely have. But I've never caused an aircraft to crash, so I'm happy. I'm happy. I can sleep at night with that one.
Dave Airways. So speaking of Airways, we do have a penalty kick. Chanalogu starting things off for Inter here against Oblak. The question is, what is the odds on that Chanalogu will sky this bitch?
Chanalogu, yeah. I'm the secret Boeing agents. The only Boeing I've worked on is a 737, to be fair. And that was only
Chanalogu takes it. Top bin. Sorry, Dave.
Oh, I'm a couple seconds back.
Oh.
You know this.
I can't do anything. The Paramount Plus player sucks.
But yeah, he got it. Okay, I'm gonna restart the score with it as well. Yeah. Okay. So there's the first one for Shinter.
Looks like DePaul is taking the next. No, Depay. I thought it was DePaul. They both have braided hairstyles. I wonder if they both braid each other's hairs.
Oh, imagine.
Could you imagine that? DePaul and Depay braiding each other? That's actually funny.
Should we be afraid of iPhone Maxes? Yes.
Wow. That's a good fucking penalty.
Oh wow. He did rocket that one. That was nice.
Why wasn't this guy starting? Shit, I think Atletico would have won this in regular time. If they started him over Morata. Shit.
Changalong is the only Merda I kind of want on Juve. That's fair.
Oh, Alexis Sanchez taking one.
Everything with Max is the name, especially the 352 Max.
Ooh, oh boy.
352 Max.
All right. So,
oh, he saved it!
yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's funny. Christian Vieri's over there just holding his fucking head. I can't believe Alexis Sanchez missed a fucking pen. That was a terrible penalty.
Yeah, that wasn't that great.
Slow into the middle. Yeah, he's like wincing. He's like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, not even Barella because of his attitude.
All right, let's see who's taking it for Athletic next. Ooh, Koke.
Yeah, I know people can tell Dash's face, but I'm not looking at Dash's
Oh
face.
my goodness.
Let's see, opens his mouth, but I don't know what that one meant. Oh, that's not Letty flat cap.
Not Koke, it's Saul.
Oh, another save. It's still 1-1.
I forget fucking Summer's actually really good at PKs.
They were trashing him earlier for his play out the back.
Yeah, no. See, fuck, man. I forgot about that, man. That was an ass penalty, but the fact that Summer saved it with his quad.
Yeah, that was another ass penalty.
It was like an ass pen, but like Summer was able to just nick it off his quad.
I think that's just being in the right position, you know,
right.
and just like extending your stealth.
All right, Dave.
Oh, another save! Sit down.
Who the fuck is Klassen? What's a Klassen? This is actually a good fucking save.
This is deep. This is going deep down the bench. Oh man, Inter look worried. 2 saves in a row. That's huge. Oh, Black.
Oh, DePaul's on the bench. He's got blonde braids. That's so funny.
Did he go to Jamaica recently
Yeah,
on
Summer-
vacation?
Summer
Came
can't
back with the
play.
basic
He's-
bitch braid?
Yeah, I guess so. Summer's got terrible on the ball skills, but as like a PK stopper, he's like one of the best in Europe. Like he's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. And like apparently you can't be a good goalkeeper if you can't play with your feet these days.
Oh, this is
you
the
know, it's
kid
whole
that
thing.
shanked that one shot at the end of regulation. He's taking a PK.
Nice.
Is he going to
lead for Atleti?
Yes, there's an Interisti crying. I love it.
The tears of joy. Well, my tears of joy.
Mine, absolutely mine.
I love watching grown men cry.
All right, who's next for Inter?
Klassen was at Bayern for 6 months and didn't play a minute last season because he's old and slow.
Oh my goodness, Inter have a
Sarri's from-
Sarri taking one? They have a Sarri taking a penalty? What the fuck is Inzaghi
Yeah,
doing?
no, he's good at penalties.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like a Benucci. So I'm not
Really?
surprised if he puts this in.
You have to score dead center. That's the only way. I don't expect this
Yeah,
dude to hit the
see,
corner.
like he's pretty cool on the penalty.
Oh, that's dead center. Wow, Oblak didn't even have to move. God, that guy looks like he's fucking malnourished as hell.
I know he
Like
always looks so weird, eh?
somebody get a Sarri like some fucking beans and rice.
Just some more pasta. Just plates of pasta.
No, he needs that Mexican diet. He needs that gordo diet.
Okay, so this is it is round 4.
All right, let's see what Summer does here. Correa. All right. Not saying anything until Dave sees it.
Oh, nice. In the roof.
Dude, he fucking blasted that shit.
Advantage Atleti
Wow, he
going
fucking
into the final
crossbarred.
round.
That's risky as fuck. Bro went for broke with that crossbar strike.
Oh, he did too.
Dude,
oh,
that's
buddy.
wild. Oh, so Lautaro taking the fifth here. Lautaro
Dave's
missed it.
doing tacos
Good
El
one.
Pastor. Put that in the Discord. I got to see that. Beans and rice. I'm doing broccoli beef. I got to fry that up. I got the wok ready to rock. Oh man, I can't even say it. The wok ready to rock.
Oh, good lord.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Here we
Lautaro.
go.
Lautaro. Oh my god!
Lautaro's penalty kick sponsored by Riyadh Air. When you're flying with Lautaro.
Oh my god, did he just do that?
Yes.
He just fucking Boeing 737 max that shit.
He did, yeah, he fucking maxed that boy. And
Oh man.
you, Paramount Plus and all the lollygaggers that were telling me Inter is the best team in Europe, y'all just got shithoused by Athletic.
Shit.
Y'all got shithoused by Athletic.
Oh, they got terror balled to fuck. I love it.
I am all here for it.
That's amazing.
You guys couldn't even beat a shitty Atletico Madrid. That is the state of Serie A, guys. Inter, the most dangerous counterattacking team in the world, can't beat a pragmatic team.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
Where do I do hear something else playing in the background.
All right. Shall we end on this note, Mr. Dave?
We should. This whole time there was a Twitter thing that was playing.
You're
And I'm
playing
like,
Twitter
what's
videos
that
in your background?
noise? And now that I had the game turned off, I'm like, what? There's still
going on?
somebody's still talking to me.
Okey
But yeah,
dokey.
that was a fun one. Let's get through the rest of these comments, and we will.
What a
we
bum.
will,
What a kick.
oh
Space
my God.
rocket launcher.
Well,
Oh
guys,
my
what's
God.
sorry,
Join-
just yeah, no. Once we get through these things, we got a few comments to get through. But in the meantime, please do like and subscribe. And there's the barcode to get into the Discord, and link is in the description. SpaceX rocket launcher. Oh, they're doing the super heavy test too. That was a
Yeah.
super heavy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Shake hands with that 23-goal striker. Elliot says, best week ever. People says, no quiero Carnalo. Lautaro out. Jeff says, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, you needed two. You
German
needed
Dave
two lines for
says,
that.
so we lost to the so-called best Italian team forever last year, and so the called best Italian team in the span of 2 days, fucking beautiful. Jeff says Inter is out, Juve in the Club World Cup this week is fucking awesome. And then LJJ says hello, coming in at the end. Dave, why was the CF105 Aero project canceled? That's classified.
Oh, that is an aviation question. So because we are trying to kill it, I will give the 5-second response. When your amazing long-range bomber, nuclear bomber interceptor comes out the same day as a Russian ICBM, the ICBM is kind of a little bit better than the aircraft. Toss in a whole shit ton of politics. That's why the 105 was canceled. But we can get into that another day.
He
but that's
wanted to
just
blast the ball into the Bernabeu. When his team needed him most, he vanished. Typical Argentinian thing. Martinez looking at the penalty spot as if something wasn't right. Yeah, you. Never pay 100 mil for Lautaro. Que bonito, los bonito. He's an Avatar anime flag. Inner world of most when he vanished. Martinez pulling a Ramos. Thanks. KB, he was expecting to retake it.
Yeah, if you guys want to nerd out aviation or anything else for that matter, I mean, the Discord, 100%. Also, I have to, and we'll get to the comments so you can see, it's DintheDouble Sports. I have, thanks to, you know who you are. I don't know if we're still hiding. I haven't asked yet if we're exposing identities or not. But I have somebody that's going to work on our social media accounts and actually like try to post things regularly for us, because me and Dash or Boomer as fucking don't know what we're doing. So, please, like, do actually go to that Twitter account, DintheDouble Sports, and follow, because we're actually doing shit. All right, guys, the music's playing. Dash did it on me this time.
I know I had to. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this Tinfoil Hat Show. We'll be back on the weekend. You'll get some German Dave, you'll get some Albanian Dash, and you'll get some Canadian Dave. You'll get a lot of D this weekend. So you will enjoy it and like it. But on that note, guys, we'll see you on the weekend.
Oh, man, love it. Thanks. It was another fun one, guys. See you on Saturday.